to be doing a talk Sharonville at On the Rise Fitness on October 30th because
bad start.
What do you mean you two? Shut up. That's how we're doing it. Sam had this goal of doing a fucking hot start, and we did a hot start, and it was the hottest start. He's like, too hot.
I couldn't handle it, man.
Yeah.
Woo, let's tone that down.
You ever see one of those videos of people trying to barefoot, like holding on to bar or even like a jet ski kind of handle, and they like just
on the water?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to watch myself.
I see Gatorboy Silverback post that shit all the time.
Yeah, and he's good, but learning that, I tried one time, and they said it was behind a Mastercraft boat, one of these fancy smancy boats that is supposed to have no wake so that you can get up easier. We had to get up at 5 a.m. when the water is like 38 fucking degrees, and it's because it's crystal clear glass. No one's on the lake. We can do it then. And you only have to make it up to 40 miles an hour to be able to break the surface of the water. You have to hit 40 miles an hour.
So you're physically going 40 miles
You're physically going 40 miles an hour. Now for the boat, it's not that bad. But do you know what a boat looks like when it's going 40 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Like this. And it's just like you go, oh man, I wish I had one of those boats. That seems so fast. But you're attached to a bar or a rope. And
does it hurt?
So
I feel
bad.
like it would hurt.
Yeah, because my experience was, and this is how you learn, you just go on a solemn ski, one ski, or you have two skis and you just kick out.
You just kick them off?
Yeah, you just kick them off, and we'll pick them up later because no one's on the lake. We'll monitor. We have someone in the boat monitoring you in case you fall down and drown, and we have someone, and he'll monitor the skis too. It's not like we had to go very far because as soon as I kicked out, it's just like, oh, they're can't hold on to the rope. And it skips because you are
40 miles an hour.
Yes, you are going that fast. So you have enough momentum to keep above the surface. So you hit 40 miles an hour on the surface of the water, and then maybe you slow down to like immediately 4, but that 4 is enough to keep you skipping for at least 2 more bounces, and it's horrible.
It feels like it would be really bad on every part of your body, even if you did it right.
Yeah, it feels like concrete that immediately hugs you.
Water is really hard when you hit it at any speed.
At 40 miles an hour, it's very hard. It's just concrete. It's just like skateboarding and crashing at 40 miles an hour.
Dude, you ever try and dive like into a pool and you're going like, this is going to be great. And then halfway through the dive, when you're in the air, you go, I'm not doing this right, but you kind of were. And then you just go.
Yeah, I've done that before, but like halfway through the air, I'm like, this isn't deep enough. I
don't know if that 9 feet's accurate.
Yeah, I was diving in and I looked sideways. It's like, oh, do not dive. And just fucking scraped the shit out of my forearms. I've done that before. And not as a child.
Yeah, you're just dumb sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Was it like, don't you have a pool here?
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Can you dive in the pool here?
I can dive in the pool here. It says no diving because they don't want liability, but it's like,
How deep does it get?
I think 8 or 9 feet.
Oh, you can dive in 9 feet.
Yeah. But it's also one of those pools that you can walk in alone and it says like, you shouldn't swim alone. Bitch, I'm gonna swim alone. I know what I'm doing.
You got floaties?
Yeah.
If you have floaties, you can swim alone.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah, it also says no alcohol too, which I abide by all the time. Just in case. I feel like the people that listen to us would also clean my pool and maintain my facility.
Does it say no weed?
That's just in the bylaws of Ohio, so I abide by that strictly. It's
not in the laws of Cincinnati.
It is. It's just decriminalized. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Nothing. Come at me, bitch.
You're so tough.
I know. But yeah, so I'm doing a talk. So as far as the hot start goes, yeah, it's like skipping on the water and hitting it like concrete at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're doing a talk.
Yeah, I'm doing a talk. So it's Basic Nutrition 101. And it's going to be my first one that I hope to be giving quarterly and be able to give to other gyms too, because it's just going over basics. When you talk to people at gyms, when you talk to fighters, when you talk to even bodybuilders and you ask them about their nutrition, even if they're jacked, even if they're ripped, unless they really have taken the time to educate themselves, If they're just trained by another coach, they're going to regurgitate exactly what they do and say, this is how you train, and think that it's a one size fits all. And that kind of gets people hurt in some cases, because you'll hear semblances of a correct program. If you ask people, it'd be like, that sounds like you're training for like a 200-pound man, and it's a 160-pound dude that's just trying to, like, gain muscle. And you're like, okay, this is how we need to adjust. But they're doing like all the right things in all the wrong ways. So it's just going over basics. How do you set your calories for yourself? How do you find out your BMR, your TDE? Once we have your calories, how do we establish your macros? Going through your protein, fat, carbs. And then none of that matters unless you guys are actually incorporating recovery, stress reduction, because you have to mitigate that somehow, because once the damage is done, if you just go in and re-damage, you're not going to get better. You have to make sure you bring that back. And then Q&A.
That's the recovery thing is a big, kind of like lacking.
Yeah, you can, it's because of the mentality of train every day, all day, every day.
Not a good idea.
People will either train once a week or twice a week, which isn't enough, or they'll train every day, which I do. But that comes with experience, and because I'm a coach and I know when to pull it back, which I don't always.
Yeah, same.
but at the same time, I just trained today, and it was going on like a 1.5-mile walk, and then I stretched out a bunch, and then you walked in on me doing some bicep curls, because curls every day. If I got the equipment, I'm going to do curls every day. So you can't overtrain biceps. Anybody that
definitely can.
You definitely can't. Anybody
that's overtrain abs.
You can't overtrain abs. You can't overtrain your triceps or your biceps and your calves and your fuck collar.
Only one of those is actually correct. No, but one of the things, especially when you see
you can
like
overtrain abs.
Nah, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you want. Yeah.
Let's just say core.
Yeah. We'll shoot a nice video after this together, and I will just fuck you up with everything I have here. We'll have you balancing.
Oh, I'm really good at balancing. I train
did you really take to that account?
I use balance pipes.
Yeah, but Joel Salas, I don't even know his name, but the guy that does a bunch of balance stuff and performance.
Is it the functional patterns guy? Yeah,
it's good, right?
Yeah, I like the functional patterns guy.
Yeah. Something you should check into is, and I think it's local actually, is Phase 6 programming.
Bro, they're in like fucking England.
Really?
Yeah, they're in like
then there's just a local fucking gym, because I just found out about them.
Yeah, but they're straight up in black. They're good.
Yeah, it seems really.
They got a lot of really good shit.
Yeah, it seems useful,
and a lot of it's also like jujitsu based as well.
Seemed like it. Seemed like some of the patterns that they're brand or like just putting on their site seemed like.
I think that at least one of them, because it's I think they're married. I think the guy at least does jujitsu. I'm not 100% sure on that, but based on the movements that they do, it seems like it matches up with a lot of the like line drills and body functions that you train for jujitsu, like inversions and hip stuff. But
or he fucks really well.
I don't know. They probably both do.
Probably. It's probably just, it's not mutually exclusive. He probably does both. He probably trains jiu-jitsu and fucks well.
No, but one of the things about overtraining that I see all the time is, when I say older here, I mean like 33 plus, right? So like 33 and older.
I didn't say it.
No, because like the sport is still very new of like mixed martial arts. So the oldest guys you have now are like 60. Like you don't have like old guys in the sport yet. But
you're calling a bunch of like 34
no, because like these dudes,
old.
Like if you started, like Jeremy started training.
We have women listen to this show.
There's like one. I don't know if
you just called her old.
I think it's Hannah. But so when
hey, Hannah,
when you have like these guys that have been fighting since the mid 2000s, or before, their entire philosophy is you got to do something so much. That's it. Just do it all the time. Do pad work all the time. Run, like spar, run, pad work. Spar, run, pad work. And all those things are high impact. And also like very heavy cardio. And if you're not taking the time to recover your cardio or recover your joints and muscles, like you're not going to be hitting your maximum output at any point in time. Like you will be able to be good But imagine how good you could be if you took into consideration recovery. Because a lot of these guys, they're technically really good. They have good cardio, but if you recovered correctly, it would go to the next level.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like looking at Matt Gordon, or no, it's not Matt Gordon. Gordan Ryan. There we go. I have a bad working memory. I've been actually looking into that and ADHD. It turns out I have a terrible working memory. Everything that it was listed on this podcast. I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? A little bit.
I don't think so.
No.
You have a bad memory.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything that I was listening to on this podcast is by Andrew Huberman. He was going over ADHD.
Oh, we might have actually.
Yeah. I think you do. So, yeah. Probably should just stop talking about it because I've already gone over it. But you know what? Joe Rogan goes over everything twice and 3 times and 4 times. I've listened to that a lot, so I would know.
I know you have.
You know I have. Where was I going with that? Anyway, bad working memory.
You're talking about Gordan Ryan.
Oh yeah, he has that gut GI issue that really affects him. So it's just kind of like that, where imagine how good he would actually be if he had all those years to train without that.
Yeah,
because he's still the best. It's just a matter of his potential was cut short due to the ability not to train as hard as he wanted to.
I don't think he's done though.
No, but that's time off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's just time is a resource. So when you lose time and you do get older, you have to reverse the damage done or and this is for the general, not necessarily.
I was thinking about how old he is. I think he's like 25. He's not that old.
Yeah, no, he's not that old. But it's a matter of that 3 year. It's still 3-4 years of just your life, your training, and a matter of how much he could have progressed without dealing with that, because maybe he would have been 25 and been able to be
if only he was the best in the world when he was 25.
It's the thing.
Oh, sarcasm.
It's the thing with being the best in the world. It's the thing with being the best though. You have to set the bar then.
Yeah.
Because there's no one to set it for you until someone surpasses you. So the potentiality of what you could be, you have to continue to reimagine that or set it higher because you don't have a goal. There's no one above you at that point. So that's if there's any issue of coming back from that, it's that. But yeah.
Well, when you look at like a lot of the old guys in the sport and people who are detractors from mixed martial arts will often bring these points up. We're like, yeah, but like how are they now? They're in constant pain. They have bad brains. And it's like, yeah, because they basically would get into hours-long fights in the gym 5 to 6 days a week. And that was how they trained. And it wasn't like we're going to do technical sparring, where it's like jabs versus jabs and low kicks, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're fucking fighting 5 to 6 days a week for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Why are we fucked up? Like, I think I might know, and like one of the reasons that like you see such a big progression in athletic ability in the sport itself is that now people are training so much smarter. And if you watch even like Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner in like the first Ultimate Fighter, it looks worse. Dude, it looks worse. Like their technique and cardio.
I agree with you because I don't.
Just agree with me. Their technique and cardio looks significantly worse than a lot of debut fights that you see in the regional fighting scene now. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that they're bad at what they were doing. They were good for the time. It's just there's been so much progression and understanding of how to train, and that you actually do need recovery and you do need technique training. Mm-hmm. And it's not just like who can be in a dogfight for the longest.
Yeah. You can be in a dogfight, but if you can avoid hits too and be in the dogfight,
swim without getting wet.
Yeah,
that's what that shit's called. But also, oh my god, I had a great thought. It was about fighting. It was about recovery. It was about training. And guess what? It disappeared.
I know. I feel like sometimes we need like an agenda for a podcast that we just banter on. We just have conversation. We should
take notes, maybe.
I know.
I should be like writing down everything I need to say, but I'm not.
You feel like we need a producer?
I feel like we need a producer.
You think we'd get Tyler to come
I don't think we could get Tyler, and because it's the middle of a day on a Thursday, and he has an adult job.
But they don't treat him well, and he has to wear a mask at work.
He would not have to do that here.
He would not have to.
But would we pay him at all?
if someone pays us, I think our thing is still spending on pending.
It is.
Yeah, no one's agreed to sponsor us, and I get it.
I think
but
it's
like,
probably because they listened to one of your fake ad reads and they're like, no.
we're getting better. We're getting so much better. Tyler did send me a fucked up statistic today, and I was looking into it, and it just got reported like 6 days ago. The CDC came out, but 5 to 11-year-olds were just reported to have gone up in obesity 36.5%. And I wish I could know where we were before.
Not good before.
No. That was the increase.
Fuck, since when?
No, but the pandemic started. I'm sorry.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't let kids be outside.
Yeah. And their parents, I mean,
like, shut up and play video games.
This was kids only, but I imagine those statistics aren't any better for.
They're probably worse.
No.
For adults?
It's probably worse because you can drink and you can
make your own decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, like,
imagine that's the thing. I was an obese kid and I know the hardships of that because I know of, like, it's just a matter of being that kid that can't run, being out of breath, being the kid that can't really play sports because you physically can't now. Like, you can't join in on your friends. They're all playing sports and you're kind of part of the group, but you're not at the practice. So you get to talk to them at school, but then they bring up other things such as, like, oh, remember what happened last night, or we're going here for the team meal. And it's like, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not invited because clearly I'm not part of the group.
Yeah. Well, also, we talked about this on another episode where you got into fitness because your RuneScape account got banned.
Hey, fuck you.
Because otherwise you were just doing that, like,
it's addicting.
All day, every day.
You can live your life within a video game.
Dude,
imagine virtual reality. I wish I was 13 again.
Fuck that. I saw another
loser.
I believe it was also the CDC came out and they said something about, like, video games are a healthy way to spend your time. And it was juxtaposed with an article from the CDC from 2016 that was like, video games are not a fucking healthy way to spend your time. So they're turning back on their shit.
Did you see what China just did a month ago?
What'd those fuckers do?
Beat us. Because they put a ban or at least a time limit on video games and screen time for kids, which if you put, and this was a point brought up on another podcast that kind of raised a good point as far as, if you are a communist country and you have that complete control, you obviously have done the studies. You wouldn't make this move for your population if you thought it was going to be at the detriment.
Right.
So they're obviously seeing something that was like, okay, we need to take screen time away. This is going to help our youth become smarter and better and more productive because that's the way they view it. But if we look at it from a society standpoint and from, like, what parents and what my future kids might do, it's like, oh, maybe I should limit it and make them read because, yes, China can dictate it because they're a communist country. America can't dictate it, but maybe we should take notes and be like, maybe we should pull back.
Maybe parents should have some fucking personal responsibility for their kids.
I know.
Just any amount of it. Where they just go, hey, no.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that.
Dude, I saw a mother walking through Kroger last night because Tyler called me because his mom called him and was freaking out about our Walmart up north not having any supplies or anything in it because of logistical issues going down within the government. So, like, buy your meat, because did you know red meat is up to $11.99 a pound?
All of it just across the board. So Kobe beef and, like,
steak.
So, like, Kobe beef and chuck is the same price.
Dude, chuck actually is a significant increase since last week. Like, because me and Rachel do a chuck roast every week. I was like, holy fuck. It's $30 to do our chuck roast this week when it's usually like $17. It is almost like double. And then we were,
thanks, Biden.
And Kroger's cool. Like, we were there and it's price increases, but logistical problems are coming down. But his mom was freaking out and Tyler was freaking out. And then we went to Kroger to get groceries. And I forget where I was going at this point, but
you saw a mom?
Yeah, we were walking out of the store and it's busy because I wasn't the only one that heard. And Tyler's mom called everybody in Ohio. That's what happened.
She didn't call me.
Yeah, you don't have an Ohio number. That's a thing.
Oh, okay.
And you're not part of the community, the church group,
I'm not part of the Lima, Ohio church group.
Yeah.
It's like Columbus Grove. But
Yeah.
you saw the mom.
Yeah. And I saw her kid who was running into the store, but the mom was kind of in the middle of the parking lot over there. And this kid was only like 3 feet tall. And I'm not good at age, but like I know he shouldn't be. He's the size of a cone and shouldn't be running through a parking lot.
Yeah.
And she's screaming, "Come back!" But her other kid's trying to run off on through the cars. So I'm like, "Oh, this is tough." And I get it; it's tough to have kids, but it's a perfect example for a lack of control on situations and your kids. And it didn't help the situation. This kid was like,
He was what? What does that mean? Round?
yeah. Oh shit! I almost dropped that on my dick.
That'll be good for the audio. We're naked right now.
If you want to see, you're gonna have to go subscribe to YouTube.
But make sure that you set your age 18 and above. We have subscribers on YouTube. Hey, is one of them me? One of them you?
3 then.
I don't know that I'm one of them.
We were getting comments though
on YouTube.
Mhm.
What'd they say?
No, it was my video. Never mind, not us. I was getting comments on my video on my page, not this
That's
page.
great. Happy you brought it up. I
Yeah.
had someone tell me I was pretty the other day. If we're just bragging about random things,
Dude.
It was Hannah.
I know, man. You gotta tell Hannah to like start taking more manlier pictures of you, because all these pictures I'm seeing are effeminate. I'm like,
How the fuck are they effeminate?
it might just be you, but I don't think so. I think
the
it's the angle.
mustache? Is it the
I
shaved
think
head?
I think it's the angle.
I looked very good in that picture she posted yesterday.
You did effeminately so.
In what way?
Like,
Hang on. Keep going. I'm just gonna.
yeah, are
pull
you
up
gonna
and
bring
yell
it
at
up
you.
so I can like really pick this apart on how like womanly you looked? Are you getting like some
Is it the lighting?
HRT? Let me see.
Is it the pink lighting?
Ooh, see, it's just like the way it's one of those, it's so candid. It's one of those photos and the lighting and the angle that it's like one of those thought bitches that I'd be scrolling through on Instagram. I'd be like, ooh,
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I want that.
Uh-huh.
I want people to scroll and be like, oh.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. So there's no problem here.
No problem. That's the goal.
There's no problem here.
Okay.
Great.
What do you think of when you scroll and see my picture?
Every time.
This answer.
Let me put it this way. Me and Hannah have a joke about you.
I have a joke about me.
Hang on.
What's your joke?
We'll just look at each other fucking randomly and go, do you want the link? Can I get you the replay? Because every post you have ends in, can I get you the replay or do you want the link? So every time I see you post anything, I'm like, Hannah, do you want the link?
But you know why? Because no one knows what to do. Because when you post on your shirts and they go, I really want this shirt.
That's why
That's
you gotta tag the product on the Instagram post.
It's not just that. When people read and they go, he's having a sale. Imagine you walk into a store. The store has great sales on their TVs. They have sales on their toothbrushes and they have sales on their socks. Why? Because we're at Costco.
Just those 3 things.
We're at Costco.
Classic TV, sock, toothbrush sale.
Vitamin C is on sale. You can get some
Okay, so
samples.
it's a bigger
Okay.
sale. Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit more. But you're not going to know about any of that fucking shit unless someone puts it in front of your face, unless someone set up a display to say, hey, here's a big sale, unless someone says, hey, you need to buy this. And you know why Costco's so successful at selling some bullshit that's frozen?
Because it's cheap.
No, because they warm it up and they hand it to you when you're walking by and you're like, I don't need this frozen bullshit. And they're like, yeah, you do. Try it. And you try it and we're like, God damn it. I need a frozen corn dog. You don't.
You might.
Exactly. And they catch you on that. But they push you into what you need to do. And sometimes those old bitches are a little too pushy. They're like, hey, sir, come here. Come here. And I've got headphones in. So I have to take out my headphones. What? Do you want a sample of jerky? it's in my car. Like, I came up behind and grabbed it.
Yeah, I do though. I do want to see.
Yeah, but like I took out my headphones. If I really wanted it, I would have came up to you. But you know why I took it? You know why? Because in that instant, in that immediate moment, I become a little bitch to that old lady.
Dude, last night.
And no.
Oh,
Let me
this
finish.
is
Let me finish. Why'd you open your legs?
You're going to hit this leg. I brought my hands down.
You are so not ready for a street fight. You're so ready for like a good fight, but like street fight, I was coming and I would have just latched on and you would have been full guard and not know what to do. You've been like, not prepared, not prepared.
And again, we are naked.
So I became a bench in this little instant. And I accepted her corn dog and I shoved it in my throat. And this is what you need to do with your shirts, because until they tell you no, you've got to tell them what to do. Because people, they're just going through life. I'm going through life. You're going through life. But most people, they are literally getting pushed around by the waves and crashing into the coral reef beneath, and they never learn to surf and break the wake and stand up, and they get behind that wake boat and they get to go at 40 miles an hour and they get to watch
had
the
like
water.
a really good analogy, then you kept talking. And then they never learned to surf. Cut.
Bang. Okay, we'll edit that out. We will edit this episode.
No,
to
we
make it
won't.
better. But
no,
you get it?
last night we were at me and Hannah were at a you know that street in Reading that has all the bridal stores?
No.
Well, there's a street in Reading that has a bunch of bridal stores. And they had like a expo with giveaways and shit. And we were walking down the street. And first of all, I'm terrified of like brides and the moms of brides. But the worst is like the middle-aged women who work in the bridal stores, because they're just imagine
Usually
the
not
cost
married.
dude. But they're just like, oh my God, you're getting married. And like we were walking down the street and one of them was like, hey, you two, from like her fucking window, come in here. And I was like, okay.
She would have told you you're buying this window dress.
I was like,
You'd be
yeah,
like,
we'll
"Fuck."
go in. I literally cannot say no.
Yeah, I'm so bad, dude. Like, I'll walk down thrift stores or someone's like, if someone hands me something and says, you owe me money for that, I'll be like, fuck, I do.
You shouldn't go to Mexico.
No, that's the thing. It's all I got the fanny pack. That's why I'm really into fanny packs. They handed me a fanny pack. He's like, you need this, sir. I'm like, I've thought about it, but now that it's in my hands, I have to.
And he tells you a price and you go, well, I already bought it, I guess.
Yeah, it was $10.
That's pretty good.
It was cowhide leather. He's like, no, you want this. He's like, it's a little more expensive, but like it's $10. I'm like,
you're like, we come from different places. I would love if a little more
yeah,
expensive.
you
was
haven't been
$10.
on the boat at the bar. The drinks
more
are
expensive.
11.
I can drink that in 15 seconds.
I've got a fanny pack for life. Thanks,
Wow.
buddy.
Oh man, yeah, pushy salesmen.
Mm-hmm. Do we go into questions?
Well, let's go into questions.
Why did we put an S on the end?
Let's go into question.
Question.
There's one.
And there's
Question.
one question this week. Not even a question, a statement. No,
More of
it's
a topic.
question. More of a topic. What are we talking about?
Talking about how to winterize your lifestyle for winter.
Because if you were wondering what you were going to do for the winter, you're going to winterize your lifestyle.
For winter.
Yeah,
that's just
people,
the
just say it
appropriate
out
amount of
loud. I
words.
know. Say it out loud, people. It sounds like it goes together. Winterizing your lifestyle for winter. When you say it, it doesn't sound weird. It's on the tip of your tongue, but when you write it down,
It looks and it's dumb.
yeah.
You
It feels like
shouldn't-
we're illiterate. It feels like we didn't get a degree in philosophy and English. It feels bad that we thought that was right. It feels bad.
It feels right. Because if I just say winterize your lifestyle, I want to say more words.
Mhm. But what's that mean? Why do we need to winterize our lifestyle?
Well, because when the conditions of the world change around you, you can't keep doing the same things.
Are we talking about politics or health?
Both. But you kind of can keep doing the same things. You just have to change it up a little bit, but you can still have the same outcomes. and the same, I don't want to say commitment. Let's say commitment. I can't
You've
think of
got
the word
goals.
anymore.
You've got long-term goals, but does your current training and modality of training, have you been doing it for so long? Have you been doing it throughout the summer? Because a lot of people coming out of the summer are, we're in a routine of drinking on the weekends, of, kind of just hanging loose, of not really caring about our diets, of maybe restricting a little bit and then going a little bit heavy on the weekends because we're trying to maintain whatever physique we have built. But now we're starting to cover up. Now we're starting to have effeminate clothes on and starting to.
These are green pants, boots, and a fucking polo.
Why? I did a gesture. This could have been anybody.
It could not have been anybody. You gestured at me.
You said it, not me. And this is an audio podcast, not any. Like you said.
And by the way, we're naked, so I don't know what you're talking about being effeminate.
But when you're starting to put on clothes, maybe now's the time to change up your program, because I'm guessing things have started to stall out for most people. I know myself, I've had to change it up recently from the constant grind of being in the gym and bodybuilding and trying to be lean.
I got so bored with lifting.
Gets boring after a while.
It gets so fucking boring sometimes.
Yeah.
She's like, I gotta lift later today. And I'm just like,
there's a lot of people right now too that are quitting on their fitness routines. A lot of people.
you don't have to look good in the winter.
What's that?
You don't have to look good in the winter.
You don't have to look good, but also you feel like it's justified. You feel like, okay, I'll just get back to it after the holidays. Or I feel like
it's cold.
It's cold. And the kids, if you have a kid, you are worried about school and you're like, I don't have the time at night. And maybe I don't have a sitter, or I don't have with my job. But if you give up completely, if you use that as an excuse, because it is just an excuse, maybe you can't go to the same class, maybe you can't go to the same routine at the gym.
You can't run at 5 a.m. when it's 20 degrees outside.
No, but it doesn't mean you can't be active, because it's about activity and fitness and taking care of your health and nutrition.
Consistency.
That's
the word I wanted earlier.
And yeah, what earlier?
Well, I said another word that I have now forgotten as well, but I wanted to say consistency.
Mm-hmm. We should never go back in time. We really need a producer just to be like, you guys said this.
Keep talking.
But so consistency, and your activity might look different. So you might not be able to spend as much time in the gym as you did in the summer because you don't have the kids in school, and you don't have especially right now as people go back to their jobs, or don't, because I know a lot of people that don't have jobs, but
I know a lot of jobs that exist.
I know. Yeah. Okay. We're not going to get political. We're going to stay health. Anyway. So as that becomes a thing in this winter, you guys got to prepare for what's your plan? What's that going to look like for you? Are you going to give up, or are you going to replace that run that you can't do at 5 a.m. with maybe it's a little later in the morning and you're doing a yoga stretch? Because there's a lot of yoga routines. Maybe we go to phase 6, like we talked about. Maybe we do something that is just, there's a lot of home gym equipment. If you can't find any, it's because you're not on Facebook Marketplace.
Or go to a fitness class that you weren't going to before.
Yeah. Join in on a fitness class. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of online fitness classes now, because the pandemic has granted people that. So there's literally no excuse. Do I agree that you should do those? No, I think you should probably, go to the gym and do.
Where they can see you do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But there's no excuse. There's literally no excuses anymore that I don't have the time. I don't have anything, because if you look at like how much Netflix time and how much screen time has gone up over the year.
Look on your phone, how much time you spent. I saw a lady yesterday. I was looking over her shoulder. Some creepy in a bar. And her screen time for that day, and this was at 8 o'clock at night, her screen time for that day was 10 hours and 43 minutes on her phone alone. 10 hours and 43 minutes. So that means, to me, basically, if you wake up at, let's say she woke up at 7 and it was 8 o'clock, that's 3 hours, not even, less than 3 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes of her day that she was not looking at her phone up until that point. And she'd been in that bar in front of me for a half hour.
Yeah.
So I know she wasn't then. So aside from those times.
Yeah, it's nuts, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah. So as far as winterizing though, your lifestyle, some tips that you guys can take away, some things that you guys should be doing to go to winterize your lifestyle. Like we said, you're putting on clothes. You shouldn't be too concerned with your physique right now. So now is the time to really take care of your health and build up your metabolism, because it's probably shot and shitty, and take care of your nutrition. bring up your calories, bring your macros into balance, leveling out your protein, make sure you're eating enough, and make sure you're actually recovering. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, that you're on a good routine, that you're setting a schedule for yourself. And that's the best way that you're going to have any progress throughout the winter, is having a schedule, because what you write down gets done, or it doesn't, but it doesn't get done.
You feel bad.
Yeah. Or you should, or you're a psychopath, or you're Tyler.
Both. The other thing that comes up, or I think that I like to do in the winter, is work on mobility. Because if you've been lifting like hard and heavy or aesthetics or anything like that, and you're trying to look good all summer from, let's say, even like May through the end of September, right?
Yeah.
You want to look good. Mobility doesn't necessarily make you look good, right?
So I'm not worried about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've been going on aesthetics or strength or whatever for 6 months, 5 months. You need mobility at that point. I guarantee you're going to run into some problems. And especially as it gets colder, your body doesn't function as well.
Yeah.
Like shit will start to hurt. You know that when the weather drops, there's something on everyone that's an adult's body that starts to fucking hurt.
Your just muscles are not as warm, and that's the thing. Temperatures, they tighten up and constrict blood vessels, so you're going to be a little bit more
shoulder
tight.
hurts.
Yeah.
Like...
and things like that happen because mobility is controlled ranges of motion, where you're able to control the weight or the whatever it is, because when you're going into a full body squat, ass to grass is always the goal, but a lot of people only bring it to 90. And if you go below 90, if I asked you to drop your ass all the way down, break that parallel all the way down, most people can't control it or bring the weight back up. So you do not have mobility or control within that range of motion. So that's what we're talking about, working on that. And ways that you can work on that is you can do some eccentric slow squats with power ups. I mean, that's what I'm working right now. I'm doing 5-second eccentric squats, very heavy, working to go all the way down. And it's not the max that I can do. I can probably hit above 350. I don't really test my squat because of my back. So I really don't know where
you
my
should.
max. Yeah, I thought about it.
I want to watch you walk around all crooked.
Yeah, I know it sucks. But I'm only squatting like 250 right now for 3 seconds, because that's where my control with 250 is right now, at that tempo and with that weight. Because yes, I could do more, but I wouldn't be able to go as low, and that's the goal, working on my range of motion to increase that.
And it depends person to person and movement to movement, because like if I'm doing a back squat, which I haven't done in a while, I'm going to be lifting heavier to work on the mobility than I would be if I'm doing a zercher or a front squat, right? And I'm going to be lifting heavier on the zercher or the front squat than I am if I'm doing like an on my toes squat. Like if I'm going like, toe squat where your knees come way over and you're leaning back, if I'm doing one of those, I'm not doing it. But you're not on like a plate. Like you're just in the air.
Yeah,
so yeah. If I'm not standing on a plate with any support, the most I'm gonna have is 25 pounds probably, just because it puts the amount of strain on my knees, and I know that especially my right knee is gonna start having problems. And one of the things I'm doing this for is to help my knees. So why would I fucking hurt my knees while I'm trying to help them?
Yeah.
So if I know that I'm working on a specific thing, a specific mobility or range of motion, and the exercise that I'm doing is targeting what I needed to target, don't bring your ego into the equation when you're working on mobility. Ego does not matter with mobility, because ego goes out the window when you tear your fucking patella off, because you're like, I can fucking sissy squat 125 pounds but front loaded. You just fucking can't.
Yeah.
Then you can't walk, and how does that help your ego?
Yeah.
Then you can't move about your everyday life. And when you're doing mobility, the goal is to have your everyday life, the quality of it be high. That's what mobility is for. That's what like
recovery, your recovery period, your off season.
Yeah,
and you go into off season.
Any form of off season.
Yeah. And for general population, the off season is usually winter. If for an athlete, it's during right after the competition. For a combat athlete, there's multiple off seasons, and it's a little bit weird because the pattern undulates. There's usually multiple fights,
and it could be off season is 5 weeks or 2 weeks.
Yeah, but there's always an off season.
Yeah.
And then the off season doesn't mean you just go balls to the walls and you're off, but it's a matter of your postseason recovery, your off season.
What I always tell people that are new to the gym and want to fight is until you get your first fight, train like it's a fight camp from today until the day that you fight, right? And then after that, fucking fluctuate. Like come in and out of the seasons, go in waves, like cut that shit out. Once you get the skills and like the understanding of the game to where you actually can fight and protect yourself and like put on, you know, somewhat of a good exhibition of skills, train like it's a fight camp. And that could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, right? But once you can have an off season, take the fucking off season.
Yeah.
You know, chill out a little bit. Like I'm not going as hard as I am, as I will be probably a month from now.
Yeah. You can even break that up too. There should always be off seasons within that. Come out for a week. It's like your off season looks different.
It's not 5 weeks. It could be like, hey, everything hurts. My nervous system's fucked. I need a week.
Yeah.
But you don't want to, you know, if you're trying to fight and you aren't at the place where you can, you don't want to be like, I'm taking a month off.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you taking a month off? You haven't hit your goal yet.
That's true.
You know, your goal is to fight. So until you do that thing, you don't get a long off season. You know, you got to earn the off season. And if you were doing like a lot of good fitness behavior over the summer, you've earned your off season. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you turned to a piece of shit over the summer. Well, guess what? That was your off season.
Yeah.
Now none of this fucking applies. Go lift heavy.
Yeah. A lot of people, or lift with your children. Bring your 5 to 11-year-olds in.
Dude, they need it.
Yeah.
I don't see any chubby kids at the gym.
No.
Because their parents train and then don't let their kids behave in a way that's going to make them obese.
Yeah. Set an example, because if your kid's obese, he's probably learning habits from his
parents,
modeling people. Yeah. Whoever he's modeling. If people in his life aren't going to the gym and being active, well,
he's not going to, or she's not going to.
You are who your 5 closest people in your life are, whether that's fiance, friends, family, or just your environment. It doesn't matter. So if you're just a kid that has your parents being inactive and that's your environment,
and your best friend is the same situation,
then you've got a situation where you're not able to get out. So winterize your lifestyle, take care of yourself, and be able to set an example for those around you. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we in there.
Weird sounds. Go.
Ah!